You're born in mud. Not near it, not around it, in it. A peasant's cradle wrapped in straw, the smell of livestock stronger than the smell of your own mother. Your first breath isn't fresh air, it's manure and smoke from a damp fire that never quite catches. And that pretty much sums up the life ahead of you. You grow fast but not strong. No one grows strong here, just tired. By 10, your hands are already blistered from gripping tools too heavy for your frame. You spend your days bent over fields that never seem to yield enough, nights curled up on a floor of packed dirt. Your parents don't sugarcoat it. This is your life. You'll work until your back gives out, then you'll die at 40 if you're lucky. Probably earlier. Fun, right? By 15, something inside you cracks. It happens on a grey evening while you're hauling buckets of water, your shoulders screaming, your feet sinking into the muck. The smell of goats clings to your skin. The weight of tomorrow presses on your chest, and for the first time, you can actually see the future. It's endless and it looks exactly like today. You realize if you don't leave now, you'll never leave at all. So before dawn, you run. No plan, no goodbyes. Just a pair of cracked boots and the kind of desperation that moves your legs faster than fear. The fields fade into forest, the forest into road, and by the time the sun climbs, you're already farther than you've ever been. The city isn't what you imagined. You pictured opportunity, bustling markets, maybe a roof that doesn't leak. What you get is smoke choking the streets, beggars fighting over scraps, and men with knives who watch you like prey. Still, it's not the fields. That alone feels like victory. You scrape by with whatever work you can find, scrubbing chamber pots, hauling sacks, sweeping filth from alleys. Enough to eat, not enough to matter. Then you see him. A man rides into the square, a rope dragging behind his horse. At the end of that rope, an outlaw, limp, dust-coated, eyes staring at nothing. The rider dismounts, no crest, no uniform, just leather worn by travel and steel that looks used. He spits, holds out a hand, and a purse of silver lands in it. More than you've ever seen in your life. The crowd stares. You stare harder. Not at the outlaw, not at the silver. At him. A bounty hunter. Free. Answering to no lord, no master. Just the hunt and the pay. And in that moment, it hits you like a hammer to the skull. That's it. That's your way out. Within weeks, you're lurking around taverns, scanning posts nailed to wooden boards, listening for whispers of men worth coin. The first one's easy. A thief caught stealing bread, drunk and half asleep in a haystack. Dragging him back is harder than finding him, but the silver lands in your hand all the same. One coin brighter than anything you've touched before, and just like that, you're hooked. The fields are behind you, the city barely tolerates you, but the road ahead. It smells of sweat, steel and coin. Dangerous, bloody, uncertain, but at least it isn't dirt and goats. At least it isn't peasant life. Your first bounty was almost too easy. A drunk thief in a haystack, one coin in your hand. For a moment you think maybe this job isn't so bad. Maybe it's all luck and silver. But then reality hits you like the butt of a mace. The next job isn't a thief passed out in straw. It's a deserter, quick on his feet, sharper than you'll ever be. And suddenly you realize this work isn't about easy paydays. It's about pain. His boot prints vanish in the mud. Rumors send you in circles, and when you finally corner him in a tavern, he doesn't surrender. He smashes a stool over your back. You go down, choking on ale and splinters, before you even manage to draw your blade. The fight that follows isn't heroic. It's ugly. Punches, broken teeth, someone's fork in your thigh. By the time you drag him back, your face is swollen, your leg is bleeding, and the silver barely feels worth it. But you don't quit. You can't. Once you've touched that coin, once you've seen what freedom tastes like, you'd rather die than go back to goats and manure. So you learn. You teach yourself to read the ground, which prints are fresh, which are fakes, meant to throw you off. You learn that people lie with their mouths, but not with their eyes. That when someone says never seen him but won't meet your gaze, you've already got your lead. You discover taverns are better than maps, and barmaids know more than any lord. And slowly, painfully, you stop looking like prey. But the lessons cost you. Bruises pile up, ribs crack, blades cut deeper than pride. You wake up some mornings and can't remember which scar came from which fight. One outlaw clubs you so hard you can't hear out of your left ear for a week. Another nearly guts you with a broken bottle, and yet every time, You drag yourself back onto your feet, because the alternative is crawling home in shame to milk goats. Eventually, you earn enough to buy a horse. She's a disaster. Ears pinned back, teeth sharp as daggers, the kind of animal that looks for excuses to buck you off. More than once she scrapes you against a low branch just to prove she's in charge. But she's yours. And for the first time, you're not walking from town to town like a beggar with a blade. By 20, you're not green anymore. You're not a master either, but you're faster, sharper, harder. You've got scars across your arms, a limp on cold mornings and eyes that see things most men miss. You've dragged in thieves, raiders, deserters, and liars of every kind. You've been spat on, cursed, thanked, and ignored. But through it all, the silver keeps clinking. Each coin a reminder that you chose this path, that you carved it out with blood and broken bones. You're not a farmer, not a servant, not bound to anyone's field. You're a bounty hunter now. And the hunt has only just begun. By the time you hit 30, people know your name. Not everyone, but enough. The kind of innkeepers who used to squint at you suspiciously now nod and clear a table. Guards who once checked your saddlebags at the gate now wave you through. You're not a knight, not sworn to crown or country, but you've built something rarer, a reputation. And that reputation earns you work. You don't have to linger by tavern walls anymore. Jobs find you. A steward slides a contract across the table. A merchant presses a purse into your palm with shaking hands. They don't care about your scars, your limp, or the blood drying on your boots. They care that when you take a bounty, the job gets done. The coin gets heavier, silver turns into gold. Suddenly, you can afford good meals, warm beds, boots that don't split after a month. Your horse, once a half-wild nightmare, has been replaced by a steadier mare that doesn't try to kill you. For the first time in your life, you're comfortable. Almost. But then come the jobs that sit wrong in your gut. One contract is a murderer, another a raider, easy to take. But some names don't fit. A boy who struck back after his lord beat him bloody. A beggar caught stealing a loaf. A stable hand who ran when the levy came. They're worth coin too, sometimes even more. And the stewards who hire you, they don't ask for justice. They ask for obedience. You tell yourself it's just the job, that if you don't drag them in, someone worse will. That it's not your fault the world is cruel. But the justifications rattle in your head when you lie awake at night, staring at ceilings that feel too clean, too quiet. The years start to wear you down in ways even coin can't fix. Your shoulder doesn't heal like it used to. A bad arrow wound makes you limp when the rain comes. Some mornings you can barely lift your blade before the ache sets in, and when you catch your reflection in a tankard of ale, you hardly recognize the man staring back. Grey in the beard, hard eyes, a face carved into spostone by time and violence. Yet the world keeps spinning and the hunt doesn't stop. Younger bounty hunters show up, faster, hungrier, more brutal than you ever were. They eye you with something between admiration and calculation. To them, you're not a rival. You're a legend fading into the background, a story they'll tell when they surpass you. And you feel it. The weight of years. The silence in tavern corners when your name comes up. Still sharp, but not like he used to be. You hear it once, twice, enough times to know it's true. You're not unstoppable anymore. You're just experienced. But still the work comes, the coin clinks. Your name carries weight, if only just enough. And so you ride on, through blood, through mud, through the endless blur of faces you've dragged in. Because what else is there? You're a bounty hunter, and by now the cost is written all over you. The years grind on. 40 now, maybe older. You've stopped counting. Your name still means something, but less than it once did. People respect you, sure, but they don't fear you. Not like before. Your joints ache on cold mornings, your sword feels heavier every season, and the silver that once seemed endless slips away faster than you can earn it. Then one evening, in the rain, a knock rattles your door. No words, just a bounty poster thrust into your hand. You glance at the sketch and freeze. You know the face. A woman. Thief, raider of a noble's carriage years ago. Clean getaway. The noble claimed she ruined him, but you heard the whispers. He starved his village with taxes so high no one could pay. She didn't steal out of greed, she stole to live. Last you saw her, she was at the market. A child clutched her hand. Same eyes, same fire. The poster says she's still wanted. The reward? Enough to live like a lord until the end of your days. For a long moment you stare at it. Then you nod, close the door, and tell yourself it's just another job. One last hunt. Tracking her isn't hard. Desperation leaves trails, and you've followed enough of them to know where they lead. By nightfall, you're crouched outside a shack at the edge of town, rain dripping from your hood. A rope coils in your hand, familiar, heavy. When she steps outside, lantern light on her face, child in her arms, she spots you instantly. And she knows. She runs. You follow. Your knees lock up, pain screaming, but you push through. She ducks into an alley, dead end. She whirls around, clutching the child, eyes wide with fear. And in them you see more than fear. You see yourself. Years ago. Running from fields and manure, desperate for something better. The rope slips from your hand. For a moment neither of you moves. Then her face softens, fear melting into something else. Relief, gratitude. She whispers a quiet, "Thank you," as she passes, child pressed to her chest. And just like that, she's gone. You stand there for a long while, rain soaking your cloak, wondering if you just made the biggest mistake of your life, or the only right choice you've ever made. There's no silver, no glory, but for the first time in years, something in your chest feels lighter. Days later, you find yourself in a tavern, a coin down, an ale in your hand, trying to drown the thought. Then you see it, on the wall, a sketch, crude but clear enough. Your face, your name, a bounty. You stare at it, a bitter laugh caught in your throat. The irony bites deep. You've spent your life dragging men and women to their fate, and now it's your turn. Behind you, a blade whispers free of its sheath. A younger hunter, stronger, faster, hungrier. You don't hesitate. Your hand goes to your weapon, heart pounding with the certainty of how this ends. But hey, at least you didn't end up a peasant.